is notoriously, pop music, art, everything else. So it has all the things that go together to make it such a great scene.
There's so many clubs here and so many houses that are willing to have people come in and play music, so it's kind of an easy city to be a musician in.
It's small enough that it becomes like a workshop environment. So you play in a show to a bunch of other people who also make music and are creative, and that accelerates the creativity and the development of all sorts of types of music.
Hi, welcome back to Don't Move Here. This episode's all about tapes. You know, cassettes, like you put in your Walkman. Just like records, they're not dead. First, we're going to go to the Half and Half and meet with Raphael from Eggy Records. Then we're going to meet with Yoni from UHU Tapes. And then we'll end with a performance by Eternal Tapestry. I'm here at the Half and Half with Raphael of Eggy Records. Raphael, thank you so much for coming to talk with us.
Yeah, thank you.
How did Eggy get started?
Eggy got started as, I guess I was playing in a lot of bands and making a lot of just like, we'd make tapes of our own stuff, and I thought might as well put a name on all of them. Is what they look like with a cassette tape in it.
And that's all homemade, handmade, I would guess?
Yeah. I want to maybe upgrade the stamp or maybe silkscreen something, but yeah.
What kind of music does Eggy put out?
Well, so far the label itself has just been a few of my bands. The exciting thing for me is the distribution side of the label.
How did you decide to start distroing tapes like here at the Half and Half? How did that all come about?
Well, for a while, UHU Tapes, which is my buddy Yoni, has been selling tapes here. So when I said that I was going to start a label, Jeff said, "Oh, you should sell tapes here." And so
Wait, who's Jeff?
Jeff is the owner of the Half and Half.
When you started putting out music, like what made you want to put stuff out strictly on tape?
I mean, it's kind of like listening to a record where you have to put it on and you have to halfway through you got to get up and turn it over. And it's just nice to, like, I don't know, take some control away from people and make them sit down and think about one thing at a time.
How are most people making these tapes? Like, is it just they have a dual cassette deck, or?
Yeah, it's for a long time I think that's what it was. Recently I've been seeing a lot of pro dub tapes, and actually just this afternoon I called this really amazing company in Missouri called, I think, the National Audio Company, whose slogan is the Great American Cassette Company, and it is like totally old-fashioned, and it's got this really great statement on the website being like, we're not trying to get in, we're not doing CDRs, we're not doing DVDRs, we're focusing on cassette tapes. That's going to be our thing.
Will you talk to us? You brought a bunch of tapes.
Yeah.
Could you show us some and talk to us about them?
I brought a bunch of tapes that are some like favorites from other labels. This is a band called Vincent Over the Sink. And I brought this in, I brought in 4 of these. I don't know if you can see this. It's like, I don't know why or how, but there's these tiny little differences like in the eyeballs. Or the little bubble underneath, which kind of blew my mind. There's a really great label in Iowa City called Night People. All of their tapes are silk screened on these bright colored papers. It's really like, just like there's so much energy on these coming off of these tapes.
What are some of the bands that are like really exciting you these days? Like, be they local or not?
Yeah, well, local bands, I just saw Sad Horse play, and they're really great.
Thank you so much, Raphael, for talking to us and for performing this important public service.
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome.
You'll get coffee in the morning and kisses in the night.
I'm here with Yoni Keifel. He's the proprietor of UHU Tapes. We're here in Southeast Portland. How did your tape label get started?
I put out a band called Rabbits, and I put out a release that came in a stuffed animal, stuffed rabbit. I went to thrift stores and I bought really old cassettes that have, insane graphic art, and then I got fresh blank tape and I put those in place. I gave them to the band, and the band went and bought these stuffed animals, and they cut holes in them, slices, and they put the tape inside there with the case, and they sewed them back up with bright red yarn. This summer, I've put out maybe 3 or 4 tapes a month.
And where do you sell them in Portland? What kind of places?
I sell them at half and half at Exiled Records, Anthem Records, Mississippi Records, and small record shops that friends run. Everything I put out is live, by the way. I should mention that. It's a whole other half of the story with this label. I'd gone on tour with so many bands, and at the end of the tour, they would give me the record. And I would get home and put the record on after a tour and just be like, oh, this is horrible. This album is so bad. This band should just put out a live record. It would be great. And then you go and put that MC5 record on, and it's so much better than all of their studio albums. And then, I should just put out all these bands on tape, because they probably have contracts with their label or whatever. Unless it's on tape, they probably won't care. And if I do it in a small run, nobody will care as much.